Daystar and Joni Lamb have been thrust into the spotlight as a consequence of the accusations that Jonathan and Suzy Lamb are fabricating their testimony in relation to their daughter's abuse. However, shocking new information has emerged that challenges the prevailing narrative, and many have failed to notice the groundbreaking revelation. Former Dallas Cowboy Kenyon Coleman has confirmed the charges made by Suzy and Jonathan Lamb. It would mean a lot to us if you could hit that like button and subscribe to our channel before we delve into this stunning revelation. Thanks to your assistance, we can keep you informed with all the latest information and thorough analyses. Here we will examine Suzy's confession regarding the catastrophe that is now trembling Daystar Church. Ex-Dallas Cowboys basketball player Kenyon Coleman and his wife Katie have each made shocking revelations. The couple, who owned the Redefined Coffee House in Grapevine, Texas, have been open about their friendship with Suzy Lamb since 2019, giving an insider's view of the horrific sexual assault accusations she faced. Suzy confided in Katie and Kenyon about the terrible tragedy she had gone through, and they recounted the story. According to Kenyon, Suzy was so traumatized by the intense humiliation and manipulation that she had trouble even recognizing the attack as sexual assault. According to Kenyon, it was surprising that Suzy did not see it as a sexual assault when she initially told him about it. "I was taken aback by her lack of recognition." Continuing, he described how Suzy was made to feel that her actions could have played a role, coupled with the implication that she was too flirty. Considering her character, he struggled to understand this idea. In their coffee shop, the Colemans created a sanctuary for Suzy, giving her a quiet place to think and process the tragedy she had endured. Even though they urged Suzy to seek treatment, she was reluctant because she was worried Joni Lamb would find out the truth and punish her. Kenyon and Katie brought up the fact that Joni controlled Suzy's life to a large extent, even down to choosing her friends. Joni had been grooming Suzy to take over the Daystar enterprise, as Suzy revealed in her revelation. They managed family relationships and internal concerns during their covert gatherings, which they carried out while pretending to conduct errands like getting their nails done. Although Suzy at first thought it was a helpful mentorship, it was clearly an attempt to influence her. This has become very clear in hindsight. It was crystal evident that Suzy was being greatly influenced because Joni continued calling her during her work hours, as Katie Coleman pointed out. The woman said Joni would confuse her and gaslight her, which I believe is a form of spiritual abuse. These were two things that Joni did rather often. Then Kenyon continued by saying that Suzy's strong faith was used against her, making her more unsure of herself and her intuition. Suzy sought counseling with Cassie Reed in 2024, and she helped her face the reality of her experience after she had made the decision to do so. In therapy, Suzy was able to recognize the truth without feeling defined by it, which helped her overcome her initial resistance to admitting that Kenyon had categorized the incident as a sexual assault. This in no way diminishes my abilities. As I realized after speaking with Cassie, I am far from being a helpless victim. "I haven't changed a bit," Suzy admitted. In 2021's August, Joni's alliance with a man accused of sexually abusing Jonathan's daughter and Suzy caused a dramatic shift in Suzy and Joni's relationship. The depth of Joni's betrayal was amplified when she began an ill-fated romance with Doug Weiss, a sex therapist who had just ended a bitter divorce. After Marcus Lamb passed away in November 2021, Joni and Jonathan had ideological differences. Suzy and Jonathan were no exception. As a consequence of this argument, Suzy was let go from her job at Daystar in July 2023. The Christian community has since divided along ideological lines, with some members supporting Joni Lamb's leadership and others uniting behind Suzy's information disclosure, and the argument has only heated up from there. Many in the congregation are beginning to question Daystar's leadership and wonder if there is any more hidden information that has not been shared yet. The disclosure about Suzy's experiences has set off a heated debate within the Christian community. People should be protected from public scrutiny and potential reactions by keeping such sensitive matters secret, according to many. Church, in their view, should not be a stage for public spectacle, but a sanctuary for those in need of solace. However, there are many who advocate for openness, arguing that survivors gain agency and visibility when they speak out about the pervasive problem of abuse in religious institutions. They argue that by talking about these issues, we may end the cycle of shame and silence, and make ourselves more available to heal and support one another. The church leadership, particularly Joni Lamb, has mostly kept quiet in response to these accusations, which has let rumors proliferate and intensify the divisions that were already there. Those who are against the group see its inability to publicly address these issues as proof of a secretive and controlling culture inside the group. Conversely, proponents argue that Joni is the victim of unjust targeting and that every piece of information has two sides. Concerns regarding the role of religious organizations are magnified by this scandal, which comes at a time when spiritual abuse and misconduct are on the rise. Many are calling for more oversight and transparency in church administration. In addition, the scope of the conversation has grown to include how religious leaders should address allegations of abuse within their congregations and what steps are needed to create safer environments for members. It is unclear how Daystar will respond to the increasing number of individuals who are speaking out about their experiences. Will they continue to deny and redirect? Or will they acknowledge their past failures and take significant action? If this case goes down the road, it could set a standard for how religious organizations deal with similar situations. And significant dilemma arises from this argument. Is it better to keep personal experiences like Suzy's a secret to prevent retaliation, or to discuss them freely to promote empathy and support? If what Suzy and Jonathan Lamb have said is accurate, Joni Lamb certainly has a lot of public and private business to settle. The gravity of these accusations goes well beyond minor arguments or miscommunications within the family. They demand serious personal responsibility and remorse by touching on issues like spiritual manipulation, emotional abuse, and aiding wrongdoing. To start, if the claims are true, Joni has dishonored her family, the Daystar community, and its supporters by acting in a way that betrays their trust. She may have committed a grave moral lapse if she allegedly refused to help her own kid after what happened to her. There is a well-known Christian ministry in which she is active and holds a position of authority. Those in positions of leadership within the ministry of a congregation have a responsibility to uphold biblical principles such as kindness, justice, and truth. If Joni valued protecting the church's reputation more than her daughter's well-being, that would be a sign of a serious mismatch of priorities. The claims that Joni has dominated and influenced Suzy's life, especially her relationships and job choices, make one wonder if spiritual abuse has been a factor. Christian leadership's basic attitude is to empower rather than oppress. Therefore, using Christianity to silence Suzy and her independence goes against that principle and is also immoral. Among the most serious accusations is the possibility that Joni had ties to a man who had sexually assaulted Suzy and Jonathan's daughter. Taking the side of the accused instead of the victim shows a severe lack of empathy and good judgment on her part. This may be seen as a betrayal of her ministry, which would bring its legitimacy crashing down. If these claims turn out to be genuine, it is imperative that you publicly apologize and show regret. The Bible teaches that true repentance entails more than just admitting wrongdoing. It also necessitates seeking forgiveness from those wronged and, if possible, making amends. This may require Joni to publicly address the allegations, offer genuine apologies, and institute policies to prevent a recurrence of such incidents inside Daystar. The level of credibility that Daystar can achieve will depend on how it deals with this issue. In light of these grave accusations, Joni must show genuine Christian leadership by being open and humble and making genuine attempts to seek reconciliation if she wants to restore trust.